Hello students, this is Neha Chauhan taking biology lecture for class 9. So students, we were on a journey inside the cell. So up till now we have studied about the boundary plasma membrane and cell wall, nucleus, the organelle, endoplasmic reticulum, organelle, Golgi body and organelle lysosomes. So in today's class, we are going to discuss about two more organelles, that is the mitochondria and plastids. Let us first start with the mitochondria. Mitochondria, it is actually a plural term. Singular of it is mitochondrion. Right. So before we move on to the mitochondria, let us first discuss what we have already heard of. We have all heard that food gives us energy. So for that, we eat food, we digest the food in our stomach and intestine, and then after that the digested food molecules reach each and every cell of the body through blood. Once the digested food molecules enter inside the cell, now inside the cell, these digested food molecules have to be converted into energy. Now who is doing this job for us? So there must be something inside the cell. There must be someone inside the cell which is doing this job for us, which is converting food into energy. So this job is actually done by mitochondria. So this job is done by mitochondria. So that is why mitochondria are also known as powerhouse of the cell, because they convert food into energy, right? That is why mitochondria are known as powerhouse of the cell, right? So I hope you have understood the function of mitochondria. So mitochondria produces energy and it stores energy in the form of a molecule. Now this molecule is known as adenosine triphosphate, which is abbreviated as ATP. So ATP is the storage form of energy, or you can say it is the energy currency of the cell. Like we spend money to buy whatever we want, in the same way we spend ATP, or you can say we break ATP molecules to get energy to do work, right? So I hope you have understood what ATP is, because this mitochondria produces energy and it has to store energy in some form. This storage form of energy is basically ATP, the energy currency of the cell. To summarize, we can say that mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell which converts food into energy and stores this energy in the form of molecules known as ATP or adenosine triphosphate. And whenever we require energy, we can simply break these molecules and get energy to do work. So I hope you have understood the function of mitochondria. Now let us look into the structure of mitochondria. For that, look into the diagram. In this, you see that mitochondria is covered by two blankets, or you can say two membranes. Right, up till now, all the organelles which we have studied were covered by only a single membrane. But this is an exception. So note this down. Mitochondria is an exception as it is covered not by one membrane but by two membranes. So outer membrane, if you look at that, there is nothing special about that. But if you look at the inner membrane is thrown into folds, or you can say there are finger-like projections on the inner membrane. Okay, these finger-like projections are known as cristae. So again, cristae, C-R-I-S-T-A-E, is a plural term, while the singular form is crista, C-R-I-S-T-A. So inner membrane is thrown into finger-like projections known as cristae. Now what is the function of cristae? So imagine the inner membrane without the cristae. Now imagine the inner membrane with the cristae. So you will feel that the inner membrane with the cristae has actually more surface area as compared to the inner membrane without the cristae. So the function of cristae thus becomes clear. So the function of cristae is to increase the surface area. And why that is required? Because on the inner membrane of the mitochondria, so many reactions are happening, so many reactions are taking place. So cristae increase the surface area for those reactions to take place. Okay, that's how it increases the efficiency of mitochondria. Right, so mitochondria again covered by two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. Inner membrane has finger-like projections, cristae, which increase the surface area to increase the efficiency of the mitochondria. Inside the inner membrane, there is liquid matrix filled. And inside the mitochondria, there is DNA and ribosomes present. Wait, what? DNA? But we have studied that DNA is present in nucleus. Yes, DNA of the cell is present in nucleus, but a small segment of DNA is also present in mitochondria, which has few genes on it. So mitochondria can produce some of its proteins, right? And because it has ribosomes also, it is capable of synthesizing proteins. But mitochondria requires so many proteins, and only few of it can be synthesized by mitochondria. But still, most of the proteins are coming from outside only. Or you can say most of the proteins that mitochondria requires are actually coded in the DNA of nucleus only. So, mitochondria, you can call it as a semi-autonomous. Autonomous means independent. It is independent, but not completely. Because it can synthesize its own protein, but not every protein. Okay, because it requires so many proteins. Only few it can synthesize on its own. For that we call it independent or autonomous. But most of the proteins are still mitochondria get it from outside. So that is why we do not call it completely autonomous. We call it as semi-autonomous organelle. Right. So this is also different. Other organelles which we have studied earlier, they do not contain their own ribosomes and DNA. So mitochondria here again is an exception. It has its own DNA and also ribosome. That is why it is known as semi-autonomous organelle. So after understanding the structure of mitochondria in 2 dimensions, let us look at the structure of mitochondria in 3 dimensions. Let us cut open one human cell. Let us take out one mitochondrion. Okay, this is the 3D structure of a mitochondrion cut open. You can see the outer membrane, inner membrane thrown into folds, cristae, and the black colored inner matrix. So I hope you have understood the structure and function of mitochondria. To summarize, first thing, mitochondria is the powerhouse of cell because it converts food into energy and stores energy in the form of ATP molecules. Second thing, mitochondria is bounded by 2 membranes, outer membrane and the inner membrane. Inner membrane has finger-like projections known as cristae. And the third thing, mitochondria is known as semi-autonomous organelle because it has its own DNA and ribosomes, and because of that it can synthesize some of its own proteins. So this was all about mitochondria. So the powerhouse of the cell. So I hope you have understood the concept of organelle mitochondria. So after understanding the structure and function of mitochondria, now let us move on to the next organelle, that is the plastids, right? So plastids, pay attention here, plastids are present only in the plant cells. They are not present in the animal cell. Mitochondria, it is present in all types of cells, right? But plastids are present only in the plant cells. Okay, now before we move on to the structure of plastids, let us first understand the types of plastids and its function. Okay, so plastids, it is present only in the plant cells. Okay, and these plastids are of 2 types. One is leucoplast and another one is chromoplast. Leucoplast, leuco means white or colorless. So leucoplasts are the plastids which are colorless or white in color, right? And the chromoplasts are the plastids, chromo means color. Chromoplasts are the plastids which are colored. Right. So the function of chromoplast becomes to impart various kind of colors to different parts of plants. In everyday life, you see different colors in veggies, fruits, flowers. Okay, those different colors in different parts of plants are actually because of different colored chromoplasts. So chromoplast can be of different color. And the green color chromoplast has a special name, that is, yes, you all have heard about it. That green colored chromoplast is known as chloroplast. Chloroplast, an organelle which has chlorophyll pigment present inside it. Right? We all have studied photosynthesis in lower classes, and in that we have studied that there is a chlorophyll pigment inside the cell, which traps the energy of sun and converts the sunlight into glucose molecule or food. Right? So that chlorophyll pigment, that green pigment chlorophyll, is actually present inside chloroplast. And this chloroplast, it is actually green chromoplast, or you can say it is a type of plastid only. Okay, so the function of chromoplast becomes first photosynthesis, because you can here add the function of green chromoplast, photosynthesis, and the second function becomes to impart various colors to different parts of plant. Now we come on to the leucoplasts, which are colorless or white plastids. These leucoplasts, they do not impart any color, so their function is different. So here they act as storage organelles. Right? They can store starch or carbohydrates, you can say. They can store oil, or they can store protein molecules also. So these are the types of plastids, leucoplasts and chromoplasts, and these are the functions of plastids. So I hope you have understood the types of plastids and the function of plastids. Now let us move on to the structure of plastids. For that, we are looking at the diagram of a chloroplast, which is a type of plastid only. So in the diagram, you can see that it is bounded by two membranes, just like the mitochondria. So in chloroplast also, or in all the kind of plastids, two membranes are present. Okay, there's one outer membrane and there is one inner membrane. Unlike mitochondria, it does not have any finger-like projections on the inner membrane. Right? So inside the inner membrane, liquid matrix is present, which is known as stroma. In the stroma, you can see that various coin-like structures, or you can say various pancakes-like structures, are stacked one over the other. This single coin-like structure or the single pancake-like structure is known as thylakoid. Right? Now these thylakoids are placed one over the other, thus forming a stack or a bundle. Now this single bundle is known as granum, G-R-A-N-U-M. And if you are referring to many granum, then you will use the plural term, that is grana, G-R-A-N-A. So you inside the chloroplast, you can see many grana, right? Or you can say many stacks of thylakoids. Now where is the chlorophyll present? The chlorophyll pigment is actually present in the membrane of thylakoids, right? So the chlorophyll pigment is actually present in the membrane of thylakoids. Okay, so I hope you have understood the structure of chloroplast or plastid. Now here again, in the chloroplast also, just like mitochondria, DNA and ribosome, both are present. So because of the presence of DNA and ribosomes, this organelle also becomes semi-autonomous organelle, just like mitochondria. So I hope it is clear. What is the similarity between mitochondria and chloroplast, or you can say plastid? Both are bounded by two membranes, and both are semi-autonomous organelle because of the presence of DNA and ribosome inside it. They can synthesize their own proteins. Right? So after understanding the structure of chloroplast or plastid in 2 dimension, let us look at the structure of chloroplast in 3 dimension. For that we will have to go inside a green leaf. Imagine that we are in a jungle. Now we are looking for chloroplast. For that we will have to enter inside a green leaf. Let's enter inside a green leaf. This spore is stomata. Let's enter. So this leaf is made up of so many cells. To find the chloroplast, we will have to enter inside a cell. So let's enter. Inside the cell we see this Golgi bodies, this network ER, this blue colored nucleus. Now the purple colored are the mitochondria and these green colored are the chloroplast. So we have found our chloroplast. Now let's enter inside the chloroplast. Inside the chloroplast, we see coin-like structures, thylakoid stacked one over the other. In the membrane of thylakoid, chlorophyll pigment is present. And in the membrane of thylakoid only, whereas various other proteins are also present, other enzymes are also there which perform the function of photosynthesis. Okay. So I hope the structure and function of both the organelles mitochondria and chloroplast is clear by now. So I hope you have understood, and after the completion of class, what we do, we add that particular organelle to our model. So here in the model I have added this chloroplast, green colored chloroplast, which is a type of plastid. In this you can see that it is bounded by 2 membranes. It is bounded by 2 membranes and various stacks of thylakoids are there, and it has its own DNA and ribosome also. And I have also added this mitochondria to our model. It has 2 membranes, inner membrane thrown into folds and liquid matrix inside it, and it has its own DNA and ribosome. So with this we come to the end of our class, our lecture. So I hope you have understood both the structure and function of mitochondria and plastids. You can easily explain the structure and function, right? So that's it for today, and thank you.